Hello, welcome to Paul's Take. And this is my take on the newest fad. It's probably a couple years new, I guess. The Overlanders got this really cool rooftop tents. You've seen them, they're popular, they're everywhere now. I actually see them on the street, people got them on their trucks. And when I learned of this, which wasn't that long ago, I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. Because who really likes camping and laying on the ground? Not me, I'll tell you that right now. But with the tent on your roof, you're off the ground, you got a nice solid platform, it's even cushioned, you can put a mattress on it. Maybe you don't even need one, I think some have already cushions on them anyways. They supposedly pop up really quick, and it's easy, you got a ladder, you climb up there, you got a great view, you're secure from bears and regular animals and rain that will get all nasty, and it's a beautiful idea. I love the idea. It seems so cool. Full disclosure, I don't have one. Full disclosure, I haven't even seen one in person opened up. But I have a good imagination. And I think it would be great to have one. I think if I was to go camping, that would be the number one option for me, is to have a rooftop tent. I like the ones with the hard top on there. The one that kind of is like a clam, either the clam one, or it's like half hard, half material, or the one that goes straight up. I think the one that goes straight up is probably a little on the small side. So, but to me, it should be, if it's going to be for my vision of a rooftop tent, something just big enough for me to sleep in, but not so small where I'm totally claustrophobic. Small as possible, it opens up as easy as possible, stores as easy as possible. That would be my ideal. With that being said, what is it gonna? Is this whole rooftop tents thing? Is this like the coolest, newest thing that's going to be going on forever, or is it kind of a fad? Is it something that's new and cool and exciting, but then when you get it, you realize it's not exactly practical? I tend to think that as cool as it is, it might not be practical enough. What do I mean by that? Well, if you were a regular outdoorsy kind of guy, I think, okay, let's put it this way. I think this would work for two type of people. One, if you're this regular outdoorsy person, this really outdoorsy guy that goes out all the time and goes camping a lot. I don't know who these people are. It's not me. I would probably, even if I don't camp now because I don't like to camp, but I couldn't see myself going on more than, like, say, 3 trips a year, maybe more, maybe 5 at the very most. If I got the rooftop tent, I'm like, I got to use it. Maybe I'll look for more excuses to use it. So maybe 5 trips out of the year, maybe. And that would only be in the beginning to get excited. But anyways, so the other person that would be a great match for a rooftop tent, if you ask me, is somebody that's kind of well-to-do, like myself. No, really though, if you have if you're kind of a rich guy, I guess, or maybe really well organized, which is not me, that has room, like say in their garage, that can rig up, or I guess maybe I'm thinking of a third person. Okay, so I'm thinking a person that has a garage that when they don't need it, they can have a pulley system or just lifts it right off the back of your truck, and then just keeps it hanging over the roof or hanging above on the ceiling, near the ceiling. So when you go camping, all you gotta do is lower it back down and go. Or I guess if you have some strong family members that be willing to help you, because these things are not light. I was shocked to find out they're about 150 pounds, 200 pounds, just for the tent itself, empty. And then you get your butt up there, and then your girlfriend and your kid's butt, or your wife and your kids and all that stuff up there. It could be, that's a lot of weight. But beside the point, I'm assuming that your vehicle's strong enough to hold all this weight, but that's not the point. The point is, if you're not going to go very often, I wouldn't want to leave myself. I would not want to leave this thing on my vehicle, lugging around 150 pounds, 200 pounds everywhere I go. And not only is it adding weight to your vehicle, is losing aerodynamics. Your gas mileage is going to get worse. It's more strain on the vehicle. It's just, it'll get all kind of probably ratty, I would think, just being in the elements all the time. So unless you're going to use it all the time, which I guess there's some people out there that would, I certainly wouldn't. And I don't think I'd want to have to deal with taking it off and on a regular basis when I want to use it. It just seems like a hassle to me. So if you have a good system, or if it comes off easy enough and you have a place to store it, and you can put it back on easy enough, then I can see it working out for you. If you think it'll last long enough to get your money's worth. And the prices are definitely dropping. I gotta admit, the one that I like the most, which is surprising because it's one of the most inexpensive ones, but it's not because it's so inexpensive. It's just, it seems like it would work for me. It's only going for like $900 on Amazon. Compared to when they first came out, they were all going for a couple $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. The price has definitely dropped. So if I really wanted one, I can afford one because I'm fancy and have YouTube income. But realistically, if I was going on a big trip or big adventure, I would be out on about for 2 weeks or something, yeah, I might actually invest in one. I probably would, tell you the truth. If I was invited to a trip, I'm going to go out for 2 weeks, I think just being out on a thing, if I need it for 2 weeks straight, I would buy one. There's no doubt. I would spend the money because it's cheaper than a hotel, right? That's going to spend that on a hotel. So if I'm going to be living this thing for 2 weeks on a trip, one trip, I would buy one. Then after the trip, I don't know what I would do with it. But nonetheless, I'll figure it out. It'd be worth it to me. So if you're going to be going out for these big adventures, yeah, I could see it working out. I take it back. I could see it being useful and worth it. But when I think of camping, to be honest with you, when I think of taking a tent out, going camping, I really only think about going to the beach maybe, going to maybe a lake. But I don't really plan on staying in a tent for more than a couple nights. Just because in my past experiences, and I haven't gone tenting in a long time, so I'm not a tent expert, I didn't really care for it. So if I were to go tenting now, I'd be like tent glamming. You know what I'm talking about? I'll get one of those biggest tent I can get. I'll get a cot, maybe a mattress on the cot, maybe not, but I would at least have a cot in there because I want to be off the ground. And yeah, it would only be for a couple nights, I would think. I don't think I could spend more than maybe 3 nights in a tent. So, like I said, and so in those situations, it would be worth it, I would think, to get this thing for a couple nights here and there on the beach. Then I think just get a big old tent and just use that. Also, I mean, in my mind, when I'm going to use a tent, I'm really thinking about the beach. I'm not thinking about these long excursions throughout the country, go four-wheeling adventures for weeks at a time that you see it on TV, but you probably never get around to doing, which I would love to do. If you want to sponsor me, hey, I'm all for it. Realistically, I'd probably go to the beach, set up my tent, a normal tent, get my cot, get all set up, put everything out there. That way I still have my vehicle available if I want to go to the store, if I want to drive down to another beach or something. I don't have to pack up the whole tent because then I have access to my vehicle. So that makes sense for me just to be able to leave my stuff, my tent, my bed in one location. It'll hold your spot anyways. And then I would have the vehicle that's lighter without all the tent on top. It's over the top heavy. Carry around with me just to go to the store or whatnot. Or just go cruising around, excursioning. So to wrap this up, my conclusion is, yeah, I think I talked myself into thinking it could be worth it. No, it would be worth it. For sure, if you're going on a trip, an adventurous four-wheeling driving trip, where the goal is to drive and do stuff, and then you park at night, open up the tent, sleep, eat, and then take off again. But if you're going to set up base at a campground or something, you need something to hold your spot. You need to, you don't want to pack up every time you want to drive somewhere. Then maybe a regular traditional tent might be better for you. Possibly. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Are you all for the rooftop tent? Or are you thinking it's a waste of money? You can also sleep inside your car too. There's a whole nother category. Sleeping in your car. But I guess that's for solo excursion, solo overlanding. Anyhow, thanks for listening and watching. Make sure you hit like, subscribe for more content, and also it helps the channel out greatly. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Paul's Take.